A new year doesn't mean you did everything wrong. It means you have another chance to be intentional. And if you're asking yourself, am I on track? That's exactly the right question you should be asking yourself right now.
This video is for educational purposes only. Always consult professionals before making legal, tax, and investment decisions. Here's the thing about retirement planning. Most people think it happens one time. You pick a number, you choose your investments, and you move on. It's not how it works.
The best retirement plans evolve, so think about it. Your health is going to change, your family might change, your priorities might change, your spouse's priorities might change. Sometimes you might need to help an adult child.
That happens a lot.
More often than people give it credit for.
I agree.
You might be forced to retire earlier than you thought. And sometimes someone calls with an offer to buy your business that you weren't expecting. That's a good surprise.
Today, we see a lot of people exiting businesses sooner than they thought they would. Big checks are being written, and it's life-changing. You need to be ready.
So think about the three things that you need to be ready for your business. You need to be ready mentally and physically. You need to be ready. Your personal financials need to be ready. And most importantly, your business needs to be ready. It's probably better to start thinking about those things now. So as we think about the new year, it's not really about starting over. It's about staying aligned. So Sam, let's talk about some of the areas that matter most.
Yeah, so the first area is focus on income, not just your balances.
Here's something people probably don't fully appreciate until they retire. Retirement isn't funded by balances. It's lived on income.
So when you're working, success is measured by how much you've earned, how much you've saved, your account balance, your family net worth. But when you retire, the question completely changes. It's no longer how much do I have? It's where is my income going to come from?
And more importantly, I think it's how flexible is the plan, because flexibility reduces your anxiety as you get closer and into retirement. If something changes, your portfolio drops, which it inevitably will. Your health changes, which it inevitably will. Your kids need help. Hopefully it won't. But can your plan adapt? I think is really important that it stays flexible.
The questions that really matter are, where is my income going to come from now? Which should be simple to answer. And where's it going to come from in the future? And how much flexibility do I have? Not if, but when things don't go according to your plan.
Area number 2, revisit your tax plan.
In retirement, when you take income can matter as much as how much you take.
Let us explain what we mean. If we say, for example, to lower your lifetime income tax bill, that's a long-term goal, but it's executed in one-year chunks. Income is measured by income taxes, which are one-year blocks of time. So every year we're asking, what are your needs this year? They're always changing. What are your needs going to be in the next 2 to 5 years? And then how do we structure your plan to minimize your total tax bill while managing your income over that entire period?
So here's a real example. A client told us she wanted to give $50,000 to each of her 2 kids every year. That was a new goal. We didn't have that before. So
because her plan changed, we now needed to make it flexible.
So we assessed her situation and decided to take big capital gains this year because it made more sense to do it now rather than spreading it out. That was unique to her particular income tax situation.
Yeah, that's what we call dynamic tax planning. But we think there's static planning and dynamic planning. What everybody needs is dynamic planning because we don't know what's coming down the pike, and it changes based on what's actually happening in your life, not just a formula you set once and forget.
Here's something else most people miss. People wait to take their required minimum distributions until they're mandatory, age 73, soon to be age 75. So they wait 3 or 4 years. And then what happens?
Yeah, well, in our opinion, they've given up great tax planning opportunities by not taking some of it in prior years. Our belief is you should start your required minimum distributions when you
retire, essentially.
Or even before. I mean, when you're able to do it, if we can do the tax planning and keep you out of the different IRMAA brackets and whatnot, we think there's huge value in doing so.
The RMD is a minimum, not necessarily the optimal amount. The best question is, and what does the government require me to take? The right question is, what distribution fits best in my tax plan? What tax rate am I going to pay? How is it going to affect my Medicare premiums?
There's something I alluded to a minute ago. It's called IRMAA, IRMAA, income-related monthly adjustment amount. And it's kind of an onerous, they call it a surcharge, we call it a tax.
Yeah, they call it IRMAA. It should just be called a Medicare surcharge.
Tax.
Simply put.
Because what we view a tax as an involuntary contribution to the government coffers.
Yeah.
So in plain English, what this Medicare surcharge is, the government, if the government deems you wealthier, measured by your income, they charge you more for your retirement medical insurance through Medicare. So you might find yourself in retirement and you might be paying way more in Medicare than the next person. So as we look at this, the timing of your distributions affects more than just your tax bill. It affects your healthcare costs too. If you want to get a client really upset, don't tell them about their IRMAA and have them hit the numbers and get the nastygram from the IRS or Social Security.
So if this kind of thinking resonates with you, the stuff most advisors don't talk about, hit subscribe. We put out new videos each and every week.
Area number 3, embrace uncertainty, don't avoid it.
Avoided uncertainty doesn't disappear, it just waits.
So think about what uncertainty does to people. It causes them to avoid retirement planning altogether. Think about what happens when they say, it's going to snow in 3 days. You can't find any milk or bread on the shelves because people are worried about the uncertainty. They won't be able to leave their homes. So as we think about uncertainty, it comes from more than just the financial markets. All you have to do is pick up the newspaper. It can come from your health. It just comes from life.
Good planning doesn't eliminate uncertainty. And this is really important. It anticipates it. The new year is a great time to bring those concerns into the open, to actually talk about areas of concern instead of hoping they just go away.
There's certain things in life that are going to happen to you. We're all going to, one of two things is going to happen, or both. You're going to get old, grow old and weak and infirm, or you're going to die. But we're all going to die. So there's certain things that we know we have to plan for, and we find people constantly not planning for them. And then there's the unforeseeable things, and it could be a terrible health diagnosis or an accident of some sort. So the planning it's really important to anticipate some of the things that could happen that might be low probability but high consequence.
Anticipate the inevitable, essentially.
So area number 4, simplify and coordinate whenever possible. We're keep it simple, stupid people. The KISS theory, we think it's paid off in spades for us and our clients over the years.
Simple, coordinated plans are easier to live with and much easier to manage. Here's what we found. When clients can actually understand their plan, when it makes sense to them, they have a much greater level of confidence. With greater confidence, they make better, smarter long-term decisions.
Retirement planning becomes a lot harder when your decisions are fragmented. Your accounts are scattered, your responsibilities are unclear. Simplification creates clarity, and we can't stress how important that is.
And here's something that really matters. It's easier for your spouse or your heirs to pick up the pieces if things are simple and elegant.
And as we talked about before, either you're going to die or you're going to grow old and infirm, and at some point someone's going to have to pick up the pieces. So why don't we make it as simple as possible and do things like have family meetings with them so that everybody's on the same page?
Yeah, we often hear clients say, I don't want to do to my kids what was done to me by my parents.
Yeah. And it's best when it's simple. I hear the same thing. My mother-in-law says it. I have clients over and over and over again saying that. So I think what people truly want is they just want things that are as simple as possible so everybody knows where everything is. That's what simplification does. It's not just for you, as Sam said. It's for the people who come after you as well.
So let's bring it back. A new year doesn't require starting over. It offers a chance to reassess, to realign, to reconfirm that your planning still fits your life.
Retirement income planning, or I should say retirement planning, as we said before, isn't static. It's dynamic. You didn't do it at one point and it's going to work forever. It has to change with your family, your health, and everything else that evolves.
So yeah, the best plans evolve, and they never stop working.
Thoughtful planning is really about progress, not perfection. We're never going to be perfectly right. If we look at our plans from 10 or 15 years ago, we would laugh at how inaccurate they were, but it's the best we have looking forward. It allows us to provide a framework for our clients to be able to manage their affairs. And so if you're 10 or 15 years for retirement or even closer, there's a really critical window you need to know about. Watch this video next. We'll talk about stress tests smart families run on their own portfolios and their own plans before they retire, and why the 5 years before retirement are so much more dangerous.
So if you'd rather just talk through where you are, figure out whether your plan is actually aligned with your life right now, click the link below and schedule a conversation. No pressure, just a chance to see if your plan is keeping up with you. Because as we say, investing is the easy part. It's making sure the plan evolves. That's where most people fall behind.